The madness is upon us.
Sox for the win! The win! For the win!
He's
Yes!
history to prove.
Over the next 3 weeks, 68 teams are going to square off to play 63 games for what is the greatest single elimination tournament in sports. All of this will culminate in the crowning of a national champion on April 4th.
Culmination.
Of course, I will be here every step of the way to share my best bets, starting with a couple of these play-in games happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, if you'd like to stay tuned for the latest and greatest free picks, subscribe and tap the bell. The selection committee has already made their choices of who they thought deserved the number 1 seeds in this tournament. But if there's one thing you can always bank on is that not all the number 1 seeds are going to make it to the Final Four. Usually it's only 1, maybe 2 of the 1 seeds that make it to the final weekend. And this year feels ripe for plenty of upsets to happen. So I'm going to share some of my best bets for some of the lower seeds that I think could make some ruckus in the Final Four. For me, the most exciting part of this tournament is that the team that wins it all usually is not the most talented team. It's usually the team that catches fire at the end of a season and they're playing their best ball when it really matters most. So I'm going to be sharing 4 long shot sleepers that I think have a chance of busting up some brackets in each region. I'll be sharing their odds of making it to the Final Four, and you can do whatever you want with that information. But first, let's start with a couple best bets for these play-in games. The Indiana Hoosiers will be playing the Wyoming Cowboys. Winner will move on to play against St. Mary's on Thursday. The spread on this game opened with the Hoosiers -4, and it's held pretty close to that figure. The total opened at 135.5, but it can be found as low as 131.5 some places. I think the Big Ten really got the benefit of the doubt with how many teams made it to the dance this year. The Big Ten had 9 teams get their names called on Selection Sunday. Indiana was one of those teams that were lucky enough to hear their names. Unfortunately, I also think they'll be sent packing pretty early in the tournament. I think Wyoming could beat them straight up. I wouldn't bet the farm on it though. Instead, I'll take the 4 points. Wyoming is a team that has made steady progress the past couple seasons. I also like that 2 of their top 3 scorers are senior guards. In the big moments, you gotta have those guys that take care of the ball, hit big shots from the perimeter down the stretch, and sink free throws in crunch time. I think that this will play the difference between covering the spread or possibly winning this game outright. So give me Wyoming +4 in this game, confidence level 3. I also had a couple other picks on this game that I like, so if you want to check those out, look at my profile on Better Off. The app is free, and I keep 100% transparent records for you to see. No charge. Wednesday night, the Fighting Irish will be playing Rutgers for a chance to play against Alabama on Friday. Rutgers started as a 1-point favorite, but I've also seen places that have Notre Dame favored by a point. The total is holding pretty steady at 132. I think Notre Dame was one of the more underrated programs this year. You see, most years, when you have the second best record in the ACC, you're probably ranked in the top 25 and not trying to make the tournament with some play-in game. But the ACC definitely lacks some punch this year. In fact, looking at who the Fighting Irish played in their out-of-conference games, 2 of them were against teams from the Big Ten, Illinois and Indiana. They lost both of those games. Also 2 teams that Rutgers were able to beat this year. But I really think that Rutgers is here right now because they were able to rattle off 4 consecutive victories against ranked opponents in February. But after that, they staggered down the stretch, losing 4 of their last 6 games. Much like the spread would suggest, this game seems like a coin flip. I could make an argument for taking both teams, but I'm going to bank on the luck of the Irish on this one. I think they've been playing a little bit better down the stretch. So this is definitely not my strongest play. In fact, while I have submitted this pick on Better Off, I may end up waiting until closer to tip-off to see how much this line is moved. If you have a best bet for this game, let me know about it in the comment section down below. Alright, so every year there are always a ton of upsets in the tournament.
Jesperson, half-court heave for the win!
This is nuts.
This usually paves the way for some lower seeds to advance to the Final Four. So I'm going to share my long shots in each region that I think have a solid chance. I can assure you that not all of these are going to make it. But even if one of them makes it,
You are in luck.
the payoff would be worth it. Starting in the East region, I think the Bruins have the best chance of defying the odds. The odds being offered on them are currently at 4.5 to 1. UCLA comes in as a 4 seed and their roster is filled with a lot of the same guys that made it to the Final Four last year. I think they'll cruise into the Sweet 16, but then it's going to be really tough from there on out. You see, this East region is the region of doom in my opinion. With Baylor, Kentucky, and Purdue all in the same bracket, it's going to be tough for any of the lower seeds to make it out of this bracket alive. Which is why I think that if any team has a chance of making it through this minefield, it's UCLA. For the Midwest region, I like Providence. They are also a 4 seed, but the odds are much higher at 15 to 1. What I really like about the Friars is that they have a roster full of seniors and juniors. They distribute the ball well, they have a variety of guys that can step up and get buckets when they need to. They also didn't make the tourney last year, and the year before, the tournament was canceled due to COVID. What I'm saying is, I don't think they're going to be lacking for any urgency or intensity. However, their road to the Final Four will be tough, even getting out of the first round. South Dakota State isn't a team you can sleep on. They'll probably have to face Iowa to advance to the Sweet 16. But to be honest, I think that this part of the bracket is pretty well set up for Kansas to make it. If I were to bet on any of the 1 seeds making it, I would take the Jayhawks. But as my possible long shot upset, I'm willing to take a chance on Providence. Next, coming out of the West region, I like Arkansas's chances at 10-1. This is another team that I think cruises into the Sweet 16. I like the brand of ball they play. They seem to be bringing back that 40 minutes of hell type of intensity. They are led by a deep backcourt of seniors. However, their one glaring weakness may be that they're lacking a big man to dominate the paint. In order for them to get out of the Sweet 16 round, they're probably going to have to upset Gonzaga. But Arkansas was able to beat every ranked opponent on their schedule, including Kentucky and Auburn. If they can establish the pace and their guards get hot, I think that they could turn the lights out on anyone in this tournament. At 10-1, this is my second favorite long shot to make it to the Final Four. But the team I'm highest on is the Houston Cougars coming out of the South. They are getting 8-1 odds. I think the South region is also a very tough bracket this year. I think Arizona, Villanova, and Tennessee all have a good chance of making it out of this region. But the reason I like Houston is Kelvin Sampson runs a great program at Houston. His players are all bought in and they go hard. They are deep with upperclassmen leadership at the perimeter and in the paint. I think they get to the Sweet 16 without much problem, but then they'll probably have to take down Arizona. But I think they match up well with them. So at 8-1, give me the Cougars to make the Final Four again. So just a quick recap. For my best bets, the 2 playing games, I like Wyoming getting +4, and I'm also leaning towards Notre Dame. My long shots to make it to the Final Four ranked in order: Houston at 8-1, Arkansas at 10-1, Providence at 15-1, and UCLA at 4.5-1. If I bet $100 on each one of those and any one of them come through, I'll have made my money back with some profit. If you have a long shot you'd like to share with me, please let me know about it in the comments section. Anyways, that's a wrap for the picks in this video. I will be back again very soon to share more picks throughout the week, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell. Until next time, best of luck banging on the books.